Well, as you join us again here in the pits for our third section of racing, I can tell you that the Pirates are facing an injury crisis. The situation has worsened since last week, and indeed a very serious injury to Lucas Trimmel during the Slovenian Grand Prix has left him with facial injuries and will rule him out for another 3 weeks. That means that the Pirates are now down to 3 regular riders, Leigh ADAMS, Tony Rickardsson and Krzysztof KASPRZAK, to take on the EASTBOURNE Eagles. Well, David Roode also ruled out after that crash that we saw him in last week due to his shoulder injuries sustained on that day, and his place is taken tonight by Charlie Gjedde. Matej FERJAN comes in to take the place of Lucas Trimmel, and down in reserve Brent WERNER will be deputising for a so far absent Andre Compton and Davey Watt, who are also unavailable. Well, as the Pirates consider their position over on this side of the pits with Eastbourne, Jon Cook, the team manager, I can tell you you're probably a much happier man than you were 7 days ago.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've been waiting a fortnight now to get back on track in terms of league racing. We had the championship with Great Britain and a test match at Eastbourne, and we're keen to get the boys back together as a team and try and get back into the playoff picture, which things have slipped over the last month or so, and now we're chasing, and hopefully things will work out with a new look team.
We have seen something of a sensation, I've got to say, in the rider market, with Nicki PEDERSEN leaving Oxford in a hurry, and you swooping and making absolute most use of the time, getting him very quickly signed up with the Eagles. Yeah,
I mean, we obviously were surprised as anyone that he would become available as quickly as he did, so we moved as quickly as we could, and was delighted to say that Nicki from day one was really excited about the prospect of coming to us, and chose us above whatever other tracks came in, and made an offer for his services. So we're delighted that he's with us, and we're looking at more than just to the end of the season, but we're hoping that if both parties get along pretty good, that it'll be a long-term thing, and that's what we're working to. And it's exciting to think that we may have signed this year's world champion the way that we did. So yeah, really excited about that.
Well, it's an exciting prospect tonight, of course, because we've got Nicki, we've got Tony, and we've got Leigh ADAMS, all likely to go out in Heat 13, and that's going to whet all of our appetites. But let's not overlook the fact that Mark Loram also comes back this evening, and I'm sure you're welcoming him back with open arms after an exceptionally good performance, I've got to say, in the Slovenian Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's just great to have Mark back around, really. It's he puts a smile back on everyone's faces. We've just been doing the track walk, and it's just nice. He's a nice, calming influence. It's great to have him back, and I think that hopefully we'll see him get amongst the points, and we know it's not going to be the Mark Loram that we know straight off, but we're pretty sure that within a few weeks he'll be up scoring the points, and we think all things considered, we've probably made the changes the best for everyone concerned. I think Joe's going to be much better and happier up at Bellevue at this moment in time, and I think we've just about got it right, and let's hope that we can get into the playoffs along with Poole, and hopefully a Poole Eastbourne final will be quite attractive.
Well, tonight obviously will be key in that, and I'm sure you must feel fairly confident. Poole at the moment licking their wounds, as it were, but the Eagles on the up.
Well, it's our first match together with a new team, but at the end of the day, Poole's probably one of our poorest tracks, along with Peterborough, where we can on Friday. If we get anything out of those two meetings, and I think we'll know that we've got every opportunity of doing very well should we get in the playoffs, because there'll be no point in qualifying for them if we can't actually come to a place like Poole and get a win, which is what we may need to do if we're to be champions, and that's what we're chasing. We've been there. We won the league last year and didn't win the championship in the playoffs, and the way things are shaping up, it'd probably be quite good justice for us if we were to win it this way round by going the other way in, and if we finish fourth but win the league, I shan't be complaining.
I'm sure not, and we wish you the best of luck. Good to see the cream rising to the top again.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, Leigh ADAMS, of course, fresh from the Slovenian Grand Prix and a victory. I've got to congratulate you, Leigh. Fantastic job. Is that going to inspire you tonight?
Well, no more than usual, I guess. I'm always here to win races and try and win matches for Poole, but obviously it was nice. Hopefully we get a good crowd, a good atmosphere, and it's going to be a real tough one. Eastbourne has strengthened up quite a bit, and with Nicki in the team, Mark, it just really depends on how he goes. If he goes good, it's going to be a real tough match.
Well, a strange set of circumstances with the Pirates feeling the effects of those injuries and the Eagles on a roll. We could well see an upset tonight, and I'm sure the Pirates will be taking things very seriously indeed. Well, we will too, of course. We'll be capturing the racing for you. So now, let's go and join Graham.
But before we do, let's join in with Leigh's celebrations here at Poole ahead of tonight's meeting, following his fine Slovenian GP win at the weekend.
great in Gothenburg last year, and I wanted to repeat it there. So, hopefully there's 4 more to go, so we can get a few more. It was pretty exciting, I guess. Not for me, not at all, but we had a big race maybe, and it was good to come out. Oh, really? It was a tough night for everyone. The track was different next time. It was a really tough final, so it was just really.
Rangers have to put your hands together, and the civilian round will be
One of this eagerly awaited Elite League B fixture between Poole Pirates and the Eastbourne Eagles, promising to be a far closer affair than the previous track clashes between these teams so far this season, which have seen Pirates comfortably home by considerable margin. This may well not be the case this evening, with the Eagles strengthened by the inclusion of the Danish rider Nicki PEDERSEN. But he doesn't appear in Heat 1. In fact, it's Leigh ADAMS, the Slovenian GP winner, and in blue, Krzysztof KASPRZAK, coming out against Mark Loram and Dave Norris. And it's Loram who immediately takes the Gate 1 lead, and Eagles at this early stage on for an opening 5-1, although Dave Norris immediately tumbles on turns 3 and 4, leaving a drawn race. And Leigh ADAMS challenging strongly on Mark Loram. Mark Loram back in the saddle. He's had a Grand Prix and Polish League fixture, and here he is making his British return to racing following that horrendous crash down at Eastbourne right at the beginning of the season, when at a crucial stage between the Eagles and the Pirates, he took a tumble going to the first corner in a race featuring Leigh ADAMS and Tony Rickardsson. He's obviously going to show Leigh ADAMS a clean pair of wheels here in Heat 1 as they come around to take the checkered flag, and a drawn race with Mark Loram from Leigh ADAMS, Krzysztof KASPRZAK, and trailing in third place after that tumble, picking himself up, the Eagles skipper, back not even coming around to take the checkered flag. There's no need, no points at stake. 3-3, the opening race in this Elite League fixture. So it's the reserve race, Heat 2, and the pool pairing on grids 1 and 3, Krzysztof KASPRZAK, who's just been out for third place in Heat 1. Maybe slightly fortunate, but enabled him to size a track up. On grid 3, his partner and a guest rider, second time this season for the Pirates at reserve, Brent WERNER, American who normally rides for Rye House. Strong looking pairing for Eastbourne, Joonas KYLMAKORPI and Glen CUNNINGHAM, and it's KYLMAKORPI who immediately shoots into a lead with the two Pirates tucked in behind in second and third place, with the rider in blue, Brent WERNER, on the outside of Krzysztof KASPRZAK. So another draw in prospect here. KYLMAKORPI either gets double figure scores or struggles to score at cool, and then lately he's been doing pretty well. Viewers of Sky Sports a couple of nights ago will have seen him as one of the stars for the rest of the world team against Team GP, and thanks to his efforts the rest of the world team were victorious. Now we see a challenge by Glen Cunningham, much as he did in the colours of the Pirates recently when guessing for them. He comes through to take third place at the expense of Krzysztof KASPRZAK, who seemed to be slowing somewhat to protect, ostensibly protect the second place held by Brent Werner, but unfortunately KASPRZAK was unable to check that move up the inside, and having looked comfortable for a drawn race, the Eagles slipped through for a 4-2 heat win, and after 2 races lead by 7 points to 5. Well, on to race 3, and this early stage then, the Pirates with a couple of points to pull up. Let's see if they'll do it this time. An unfamiliar pairing for them in the shape of guest riders. First time this season, Pirates haven't had Lucas Drimmel in their lineup, but viewers of the Grand Prix in Slovenia would have been horrified to have seen Lucas Drimmel take a horrific tumble, but reassured to hear that although he took quite a knock and broke his nose, a few other facial injuries, that he's otherwise not too seriously injured and will be back in a few weeks' time. So in comes Matej FERJAN from Oxford, and his Oxford partner Charlie Gjedde, who's in blue, out against Dean Barker in green, and his partner, who is Adam Shields. Bit of a hair-on-scare on first bend there. Charlie Gjedde goes into the lead, but Adam Shields right around the whole lot there and into the lead. And look, we've got Matej FERJAN coming through into second place, Gjedde third, and Dean Barker fourth. So a couple of weeks ago we saw Adam Shields score 0 points here and look pretty awful. Tonight we've seen the other Adam Shields, and are we going to see him flying tonight? Eagles will hope so, Pirates maybe not, and such are the ups and downs of Speedway. But with half the race gone, in fact 3/4 of the race gone, to come out the yellow flag, and Matej FERJAN taking a bit of a tumble on turn 3, and in fact the referee having to put up the red light because Matej unable to clear the track, and with that happening on the race having been stopped on the last lap, one wonders if he will award the points as the rider stood at the time that the race was stopped. It looks very much as if the referee will do that, in which case it would be a win for Adam Shields, a second for Charlie Gjedde, and a third for Dean Barker. So the Pirates find themselves trailing by 11 points to 7 after 3 races, and certainly the Eagles not always particularly comfortable at Wimborne Road, but certainly looking as if they mean business tonight. And with Heat 4, we feature the joint leaders of the World Championship at this stage, Tony Rickardsson and Nicki PEDERSEN, in the red and green helmets respectively on grids 3 and 4. So Poole skipper Tony Rickardsson got his work cut out this time against his young pretender to his crown. That's the young Dane Nicki PEDERSEN. Competing in the lineup, Brent Werner in blue, Glen Cunningham in yellow. Up go the tapes, and Tony Rickardsson's away to an absolute flyer from grid 4 and shows a clean pair of wheels to the remainder of the riders. Glen Cunningham in second and Nicki PEDERSEN third. Brent Werner trailing at the back of the field. Tony Rickardsson now way out in front, and looks as if we're on for a dawn race this time. So Nicki PEDERSEN making his debut for Eastbourne in the Eagles colours after his controversial transfer from Oxford. It appears as if he had a slight difference of opinion with Nigel Wagstaff, and I think that incident happened in an away league fixture at Peterborough, when Nicki was not too inclined, shall we say, to take his nominated place in Heat 15. So no doubt this time who's showing that they're the boss? It's TR himself, Tony Rickardsson, comfortably home, takes the checkered flag, drawn race, but the 4-point margin still between the teams as the Pirates move to 10, Eastbourne 14. So we move on to Heat 5, and we'll see if the double guest pairing of Matej FERJAN in the red on gate 1 and Charlie Gjedde on gate 3 can do something about this Eagles lead. They face a formidable pairing of Mark Loram and Dave Norris, the Eastbourne Eagles skipper, who no doubt will be anxious to maintain their initiative. Loram coming in green on gate 4 and muscling in right next to Gjedde, and the start marshal there obviously looking to allow sufficient daylight between those riders as they make the start from the tapes in race number 5. And the Pirates look as if they're coming out of the first bend with a 5-1 on. Gjedde goes around the outside of his partner, Matej FERJAN, to take the lead. FERJAN in second place, Loram breathing down their neck, and Dave Norris not far away either. So although the Pirates are currently on for a 5-1, and Dave Norris there bulking Matej FERJAN. FERJAN seemed to be psyched out completely by that, so it turns a Pirates 5-1 into 3-3, and FERJAN absolutely out of it there, trailing quite significantly, and I don't think he was very impressed at all by that overtaking manoeuvre by Dave Norris, who completely shut the door coming out of the pits bend. But nevertheless, encouraging sign for Poole is that their rider in blue, Charlie Gjedde, is maintaining a healthy lead, and at least that will preserve the margin between the teams as he comes up to take the checkered flag. So although the much wanted 5-1 for Poole didn't materialise after the early part of the race, nevertheless the 3-3 means it's now 13 to Poole, 17 to Eastbourne. On to race number 6 with Leigh ADAMS and rider replacement for Nicki PEDERSEN in shape of Brent WERNER in the blue helmet. Brent WERNER on 2, Leigh ADAMS on 4. Formidable opposition here in the shape of Nicki PEDERSEN in green on grid 1. Although he looked a little uncomfortable on the circuit in his first outing, but I'm sure they've done something to smooth that out. Joonas KYLMAKORPI in the yellow helmet goes from grid 3. He was a winner last time out, so Leigh ADAMS, who trailed in behind Mark Loram in his opening heat, will be looking to come back with a win here from grid 4. Away they go, and he does indeed get a superb gate. Nicki PEDERSEN tries to drift him, but Leigh ADAMS was having none of it. Switch back underneath, although PEDERSEN is away round the outside in his usual flamboyant style. Leigh ADAMS is a bit more controlled and tucks right in second place behind him. And the surprise is that KYLMAKORPI is back in 4th spot behind Brent WERNER, who is tucked in at this stage of the race behind his partner Leigh ADAMS for a 3-3, and Nicki PEDERSEN storming away in front, looking very much as if he means to show his GP rival Leigh ADAMS the way around the track here this evening. And a drawn race would not be a bad result for Poole. It would mean that the margin would still be 4 points between the two teams, and as usual the Pirates would be getting stronger as the match progresses. Well, Joonas KYLMAKORPI, after flying to a victory in Heat 1, has pulled up short in this race, and as Nicki PEDERSEN and Leigh ADAMS battle to the line with a win from Nicki PEDERSEN. Brent WERNER in 3rd place. Scoreline 16 points to Poole, 20 to Eastbourne. So on to Heat 7, and Pirates still trailing by those 4 points, and conceded in the early races. And let's see if Tony Rickardsson and Krzysztof KASPRZAK can do something about it this time. They line up from the inside 1-3 positions. I'm sure Tony Rickardsson will start the race's favourite, but Krzysztof KASPRZAK certainly got his work cut out against Dean Barker and Adam Shields. Adam Shields, if Heat 3 was anything to go by, is in a mean mood tonight after 1 or 2 disappointing outings here at Poole. And there's Tony Rickardsson into the first bend ahead of Dean Barker. He's got Krzysztof KASPRZAK with him. I'm not sure whether he knows if he's there or not, but he's certainly right round the outside, and Tony Rickardsson looks across, sees him there, the young Pole out in front, Rickardsson covering the line, KASPRZAK out in front. This is much better for the Pirates. They would draw level here. Tony Rickardsson takes a little look over his shoulder. He wants to make sure that the young Pole is clear enough for him to choose the line that he wants. He drives on the inside going into the bend. This is Tony Rickardsson, once again team riding. He takes a look over his right shoulder there, coming out of the pits turn, and with a lap to go, the Pirates certainly look as if they're on for a 5-1. This will bring the Wimborne Road crowd to life, because they've been a little bit muted here this evening with their team trailing. Once again, another glance by Tony Rickardsson. It will encourage him, because he'll only see Adam Shield trailing somewhat back in 3rd place, and there they go across the line. and up go the fans, standing reception, and they're going to give a standing ovation to the two Pirates as they come around to take the checkered flag. Moves the scores level 21 apiece. Scores level 21 apiece, heat 8, and a rider replacement for Poole in the red helmet, replacing for rider replacement for Bjarne Pedersen is Charlie Gjedde. 5 points out of 6 so far for Charlie, and obviously a good choice by the Poole management for placing the team tonight. He's paired up with Brent WERNER in blue, who's on the inside gate 1 position. The opposition comes from Glen Cunningham in yellow on grade 2, and the controversial Dave Norris in green from grid 4. And Brent WERNER immediately off into a lead on the first bend, but Dave Norris going round everybody there, including the two Pirates together, and he storms into the lead. Glen Cunningham at the back, so it's a drawn race as they're tucked in, and Dave Norris is... this is one of the matches when he comes to Poole showing what he really can do. Apart from that tumble first time out, he certainly has been putting himself around this evening, and there he goes around the pits bend, taking a ride into the dirt. He's certainly a rider who would carry the description enigmatic very well. But this evening, Dave Norris showing a captain's example, and he's going to take the checkered flag with half a lap to go. I'm not sure that anyone's going to touch him, but the Pirates tucked in minor places to preserve the level scoreline, 24 apiece. And, Glen Cunningham there taking a tumble on the last bend, because we're not sure actually whether he did get up on Brent WERNER. We'll have to wait for the referee to split them. It looked very much as if Brent WERNER was going to take that third place, but we await confirmation. So the Eagles moving back into a 2-point lead in this South Coast Derby match, and the Eagles very much strengthened up with the addition of Nicki PEDERSEN there, being spoken to by the start marshal, possibly passing on the warning from the referee early on in the proceedings when Nicki was warned for not keeping perfectly still at the gate. And the grandstand starting to get a little bit excited about the starting antics. It's Matej FERJAN and Charlie Gjedde in the red and blue helmets respectively. Charlie Gjedde on the inside of compatriot Nicki PEDERSEN. Nicki PEDERSEN on 2, Joonas KYLMAKORPI on grid 4. To the tapes, and Charlie Gjedde gets another good start into the first bend, and Matej FERJAN there clumps the safety fence with... and then usually we do find that when Nicki PEDERSEN's out, there's this sort of thing goes on the track. He's a 100% rider, and he's certainly getting a fair share of resentment thrown at him by the Pirate supporters, who felt that he was primarily the cause of that tumble to Matej FERJAN on bend 1. So they'll sort themselves out. I don't see an exclusion light, so the referee obviously would regard that as a racing incident, and the race be restarted with all 4 fitness permitting. Here we go with the restart then. Matej FERJAN sorted himself out a little bit, and now they're coming into line for... And once again, riders on grids 3 and 4 seem to be jostling their elbows, and the starters quite clearly having trouble separating Matej FERJAN and Joonas KYLMAKORPI. Joonas KYLMAKORPI seemingly then starting from grid 3.5. Or at least he thinks he does. But Matej FERJAN is obviously wanting to stay as far away from Nicki PEDERSEN as possible after the first attempt to start the race, and who can blame him, because he finished up in the safety fence. And this time we'll see if Charlie Gjedde in the blue helmet on grid 1 can once again hold his compatriot Nicki PEDERSEN, which he does, and indeed Matej FERJAN rubs the salt into the wound by getting an even better start and rounding Gjedde, and goes into the lead, and that's what you call determination. He didn't like the fact that he'd been dumped there, but he goes off into the lead. PEDERSEN comes up the inside of Gjedde and relegates him to third place, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to do the same to FERJAN, because the rider in red for Poole, Matej FERJAN, is blasting away in front. PEDERSEN inching closer to him, but Gjedde in third place, and the front 3 riders bunched up together now with a lap to go. It's Matej FERJAN looking over his shoulder for PEDERSEN, and who can blame him? Pedersen blasts around the outside, coming out of pits bend. FERJAN with a half lap to go now, just 2 lengths ahead of the Danish superstar, and coming up to the tapes it's going to be a close finish, and I think it's a 3-3 because Nicki Pedersen shows just what guts and determination he's got there with a superb win for Eastbourne Eagle. He's obviously going to endear himself to their fans because he takes that race ahead of Matej FERJAN and Charlie Gjedde. Drawn race, 3 to each side, 2 points between the teams. It's 26 to Poole, 28 to Eastbourne. So heat 10 and the Pirates still trailing by 2 points, and the rider replacement this time in place of Bjarne Pedersen is Matej FERJAN. So 2 on the trot for Matej. After that right old ding dong there with Nicki Pedersen in heat 9. So it's Leigh ADAMS in red on grid 3, Matej FERJAN in blue for Poole on grid 1. For the Eagles, Dean Barker in the green helmet on grid 4, and Adam Shields in the yellow helmet between the 2 Pirates on grid 2. So Pirates looking for something that would at least square it up this time, as away they go, and Matej FERJAN gets into the first bend ahead with Leigh ADAMS tucking back up the inside and coming underneath Adam Shields, who is blasting around the outside. Matej FERJAN in front, Leigh ADAMS and Adam Shields there, and it looks as if we could be on for a 5-1 because Leigh ADAMS has got into that pole position on the inside. He'll protect Matej with Adam Shields and Dean Barker trailing, and one thing that you can rely upon with Leigh ADAMS, he's Mr. Team Man, and he'll be more than content to watch the wider line of his team partner Matej FERJAN in front, and he'll take the mid-track position to cover any attempt to challenge by the Eagles. And it looks as if Adam Shields is the rider most likely to do that, who takes right out into the dirt there, coming around turn 1 and 2. But with half a lap to go, it looks like the 5-1's in the bag, and the Pirates could go ahead for the first time this evening by 2 points, which they certainly do. 31 points to 29. Lovely ride that by Matej FERJAN, and a superb covering race. Lovely bit of team riding by Leigh ADAMS. So Tony Rickardsson taking heat 11 in comfortable style ahead of Dave Norris and Mark Loram for Eastbourne. Means that the Pirates preserve their 2-point lead going into heat 12 with Matej FERJAN and Krzysztof KASPRZAK in red and blue, but it's the Eastbourne Eagles pairing of Joonas KYLMAKORPI and Dean Barker who show ahead with maximum on the cards here after 1 lap, with Matej FERJAN and Krzysztof KASPRZAK trailing badly, particularly Matej FERJAN, who is way back in 4th place there. Krzysztof KASPRZAK did come in as a reserve replacement, but fortune favours the Pirates because Joonas KYLMAKORPI, when well placed for a 5-1 with Eastbourne, takes no further part in this race. Engine failure with a lap to go, then the Pirates gifted a 3-3, and still Dean Barker in the lead from Krzysztof KASPRZAK, and 3rd place trailing somewhat Matej FERJAN. Coming around to take the checkered flag then, and that means the Pirates still 2 in front with 3 heats remaining, 37 points to 35. Well, we come to an intriguing finale between the Pirates and the Eagles as they come into line heat 13 in the red helmet on gate 1. And this is where the gate positions tend to favour Poole in the closing stages, having lost the toss. Leigh ADAMS is on grid 1 in the red helmet, Tony Rickardsson on 3 in blue. Between them, none other than Nicki Pedersen, Mr. Controversial, in the green helmet. Sorry, it's Mark Loram in the green helmet. It's Nicki Pedersen in the yellow helmet, and he's on grid 4. So off they go, Leigh ADAMS into the lead with Tony Rickardsson around the outside. Nicki Pedersen looking as if he was going to come alongside Tony, but Tony knows the quickest way around there, and off they go, Leigh ADAMS covering the inside, Tony Rickardsson on the outside. A 5-1 would put the Pirates 6 points ahead. It would give Eastbourne the opportunity for a tactical substitute in heat 14, but Pirates, even if they were to concede a 5-1 in that one, would still be 2 ahead going into the last race. And with the way the top 2 are going at the moment, then I think the Pirates have nothing to fear, but you never know with Nicki Pedersen. 1, 2, 3 at the moment, the top 3 in the Grand Prix ratings. Tony Rickardsson leads the Grand Prix level on points with Nicki PEDERSEN. Leigh ADAMS, thanks to that wonderful GP victory, is in third place, and first and second in Heat 13 are ever-present Leigh ADAMS and Tony Rickardsson. 5-1, scoreline 42-36 in favour of the Pirates. So all that 5-1 from the big guns in Heat 13 did was put Eastbourne in a position where they could use a tactical substitute, and of course they do immediately with Nicki PEDERSEN. So the lineup for Heat 14, in green, Adam Shields on grid 1. Alongside him in blue is Krzysztof KASPRZAK. In 3, none other than Nicki PEDERSEN. And in 4, for Poole, their guest rider, who's performed well with 8 points this evening, Charlie Gjedde. Off they go then, and it's the Eagles who challenge on the first bend. But what a first bend that is by Charlie Gjedde, who comes through to take the lead, with Nicki PEDERSEN having been taken well wide by Krzysztof KASPRZAK, but I don't think it's going to be long before Nicki PEDERSEN is challenging. It's a very, very tightly bunched. It's Adam Shields from Charlie Gjedde, Nicki PEDERSEN on the inside, Krzysztof KASPRZAK at the back there, and here comes Nicki PEDERSEN moving up the inside there, and it looks like the Eagles are in for a 5-1, bit of team riding going on with Nicki PEDERSEN and Adam Shields with a lap to go. It'll be 2-point ball game with 1 race remaining, and there's a bit of looking round by Nicki PEDERSEN. He sees that Charlie Gjedde's right there, but with half a lap to go, I don't think the young Pirates guest is going to do anything about this, because the Eagles are hitting back with a 5-1, and that's a great ride by Nicki PEDERSEN, not the first one this evening, and it's all down to Heat 15, scoreline 43-41 in favour Poole Pirates. So considering Poole Pirates are runaway leaders of the Elite League, their fans have had more than their fair share of nail-biting finishes to matches here at Wimborne Road. This one is no exception. 2 points between them, with Leigh ADAMS and Tony Rickardsson the nominated riders for Poole. Tony Rickardsson in the red helmet on the inside, and Leigh ADAMS in blue goes from grid 3. It's Nicki PEDERSEN in green for the Eagles, and Dave Norris in yellow as up fly the tapes, and away goes Tony Rickardsson with Nicki PEDERSEN challenging underneath him, and that looks like that's going to be one hell of a ding-dong. Leigh ADAMS tucked in just on the inside of Dave Norris, so holding a 4-2 heat advantage this stage of the proceedings. Maybe that not altogether a surprise. Leigh ADAMS going from the difficult grid 3, and Nicki PEDERSEN gaining an advantage on the first bend from him. Tony Rickardsson, engine problems, is away into the night to take a clear lead. Nicki PEDERSEN sitting on the inside line, with Leigh ADAMS probably not seeing his partner in front, probably not giving it as much as he might do under more testing circumstances, but Nicki PEDERSEN it is who takes second place behind Tony Rickardsson. Leigh ADAMS closing all the way, but safety first. 4-2's good enough. It means that the Pirates are the winners here this evening by 47 points to 3. They consolidate their lead at the top of the Elite League. Tony Rickardsson then and Leigh ADAMS take the vital 4-2, and that's another 2 vital league points for the Pirates in their quest for the Elite League Championship.
Well, Pirates have had some close calls, and that was certainly no exception tonight. Possibly unexpected, but the Eagles did turn things around. Well, Graham, you've watched every heat, and we're at the end of our racing segment on this issue, issue 6. What do you think of it so far?
Well, it's all hotting up as the season reaches its climax. Not only, of course, have we reached the end of our 6th volume, but of course the Pirates have reached the end of their Elite League home fixtures for the season. There's still a number of important away matches to go, but they're now up to 43 points, and I think more or less invincible, probably not catchable by any of the other teams, excepting that most of the contenders, led by Coventry and Peterborough, will inevitably lose 1 or 2 matches on the road. Pirates, therefore, have got the pressure off now, and I think as we go into August and September and await the playoffs, we can expect at least a top 2 position, if not a top place. And certainly, as you say, Nigel, one thing that we have seen, despite that runaway league position, is that it's nail-biting finishes here. These last heat deciders seem to be the order of the day.
Absolutely do, and we love Speedway, and we love to see that kind of activity and that sort of action out on the track. Well, don't go away, we've still got some more to come yet before we close down this issue of number 6 Pirate Videos. We've got the video box still to come. Don't forget, if you've got a question and you want to get hold of us, the best way to do that is to contact our website, www.piratevideos.co.uk, or of course you can contact us right here at the stadium.
Hi, my name's Toby, this is Ryan. How did Poole Pirates get invented?
Hi Toby and Ryan. It's obviously that the pirate name comes from the fact that the town is a marine town, I guess. It was funny enough. It was a question that was asked when we did the schools at the beginning of the year, I think, and also last year or the year before. The club started in '48. And unfortunately my history is not too good. I can't remember the exact name of the guy that started the club. People will shoot me for that, but it's as I say, it's been going since '48, and I think they just inherited the pirates term because of the town and the fact where we're situated on, with water around, and the fact that there used to be pirates and there's many tales of pirates coming into the town. So I think that's where it came from. There's going to be someone at home saying I'm completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the actual reasons with the name of the pirates and obviously the town.
Hi, my name's Debbie. I'd like to ask the promoters, why can't they look at Speedway more on a long-term basis and sign riders' contracts for more than a year?
Yeah, Deb, I think I fully agree. I mean, we've often tried in the past to even do deals with riders for, like we did with it this year, or last season, sorry, when we spoke to Tony Rickardsson. We arranged that we would be in a position that we could loan him for a 2-year period rather than 1 year. I hope the rules don't dictate that when we get to the conference that we've made a wrong move there, because that's everybody's biggest fear, and is that the sport does tend to change yearly. And that worries the life out of us, that we could have paid what we've paid and only got to use Tony for 1 season. And in fact, of course, this year with the British League Cup coming along, it's meant that Tony, I think last year did something like 44 meetings, and I think this year he's going to end up doing about as little as 28, which is ridiculous. So I know we're all missing him and hopefully see him soon, but I'm with you, Debs. I think that it would be better if we could do longer term deals with the riders. I think it would help us in terms of securing sponsorship. It would help them in terms of securing sponsorship, and of course you always build that loyalty with the riders as well. But it isn't really possible. Our sport dictates at the moment that we can only offer yearly contracts. All we can say is that we're with you. We would like to do more, but it just isn't possible. I wish it was, but it isn't at the moment.
Well, that does bring our coverage on this edition to a close. We hope that you've enjoyed watching Pirate Videos, and of course do remember that if you've got a question that you'd like to ask of the promoters, then you can do so by emailing us at www.piratevideos.co.uk or by contacting us here at the stadium, and we'd be very happy to put you in front of the camera and put your question to Matt or Mike. Well, for now, that is the close of our edition, and from me, Nigel Leahy, from Rob and from Graham, we wish you a good evening and thank you for watching Pirate Videos.